Manchester United 2, Arsenal 3, as we've lost here at the Emirates. But you know what? I'm going to be honest. I don't feel angry. I think there's ways to lose a football match. I think there's ways to compete. There's ways to understand where we are versus where Arsenal are. I think in the first half, we went toe-to-toe. I think we matched them. I thought we done really well. And the second half, I think Arsenal just upped the ante and we found it difficult to keep up with them. But even with that, we still found a way to get back into the game. You know, Marcus Rashford, again, was absolutely brilliant. 2 seconds. They're calling me over there for AFTV. They want the smoke. But I feel like with where we are versus where they are, I think we can be really proud of ourselves. I think, to be honest, there are levels that have been set. Arsenal just kept coming and coming. And I do think Wednesday probably caught up with us. The fact that we wasn't fresh, the fact that the fatigue started kicking in. And I think with the elements that Ten Hag had to deal with and the squad that was available to him, I think he did pretty much the best he could do. Now, I know you could argue, yeah, but Flex, why did McTominay start? You should have started Fred. Or why didn't he bring in Garnacho a little bit earlier? And I get those little things. I'm not saying Ten Hag was flawless, but I think with what he had available, I think we still put in a good shift. You know what? We've conceded 3 goals here today, and I think we actually defended quite well for large parts. An absolute worldie from Saka, a great goal. We went to sleep for the first goal, where Wan-Bissaka doesn't know where Eddie Nketiah is, and again I think we just ran out of steam at the end because Arsenal just were relentless. They just kept coming, and we couldn't plug the gap. We couldn't put the fires out. I think Luke Shaw was having such a tough time with Bukayo Saka. Saka basically played a 10 tonight. He was unreal. And when sometimes you have to just say someone's hot, they're on it. And that's why I think Ten Hag didn't bring on Alejandro Garnacho earlier on in the game, because I think his first thought was, well, I'm away at the Emirates. We were drawing at that time. I don't want to lose this game. And what he did was try to put out the fire and bring on Fred to get some cover to help Luke Shaw with Wan-Bissaka, to help Luke Shaw with Bukayo Saka, because what was happening was Christian Eriksen was coming across, didn't quite do enough to block Saka's shot, which went into the far corner, great goal. And then the second time when Saka hit the post, Eriksen did get something on it, but the point still remains that everything was coming through Bukayo Saka, so that's the reason why Fred had to come on and he didn't bring the young kid in Garnacho on. It's easy to say bring him on, he would have changed the game, but we weren't getting the ball. Arsenal just turned the screw and they kept coming. And their system was fantastic. Zinchenko was playing as an inverted left back. He was giving us problems coming into central midfield. But we did things right too. You know, the first half, the reason why Ben White doesn't come out is because Rashford gets him booked. Rashford was at it. You know, there was so much made about Thomas Partey before the game of how he's so important to them, and he played well. But ironically, he gives the ball away. Rashford megs him, and Rashford sticks it in the bottom corner from about 25 yards, 20 yards, whatever it was. Fantastic. But I just feel, again, in the crucial moments when Arsenal turned the screw, we just couldn't really live with them. We couldn't really live them in moments. But you know what? I don't even mind that, because it's logical. You know, they're 3 years ahead of us in their development. They're 3 years ahead of us with how they want to play. They're very well oiled. And what Ten Hag's done really well in only 6 months is to compete with a team like that. You know, we've beaten them at home. We've beaten every other top 6 side at home. We've come to them, and I've been speaking to Arsenal fans here today, and they said, listen, that was a flipping game, to the point where they're actually saying, you know what? The future's looking bright in terms of, for Man United and Arsenal, being at the right end of the league and fighting for it together like it used to be back in the day. So, look, there's ways to lose a game. If we would have come here and capitulated, like I've seen us do so many times here at the Emirates, I would have been fuming. I would have been digging out players. I would have been saying, he weren't good enough. But at the end of the day, sometimes you can just lose to the better team. Sometimes you can just lose to players who are absolutely banging form. And sometimes you can say, you know what? We gassed out, but we did do some things well. And some of you might think that might sound defeatist, or, we should have done this and we should have done that. Ten Hag's got to bring on Garnacho, he's got to do this, and why did he start McTominay? McTominay was poor, it should have been Fred. But at the end of the day, I still think, you know, we've come here, we've given a decent account of ourselves. That's Arsenal done and dusted now. We ain't got to worry about playing them. And really, it's gone how it's gone for how it's gone between us two, which is whoever's at home usually wins this fixture. You know, Arsenal always find it tough to come to Old Trafford, and we usually get the W, and vice versa here. And we push them right to the last minute. Because to be fair, even though Arsenal turned the screw and they were relentless and the pressure was building, if you think about actually chances created and David De Gea having to make saves, I make one save from Eddie Nketiah on the spin. It was a routine save for David De Gea, decent save for David De Gea. Other than that, I thought we did well to get numbers back. I thought Wan-Bissaka did really well on Martinelli. That's the reason why Trossard had to come in and Martinelli had to come off. I don't think that Martinelli had his best game because Wan-Bissaka had him, even though Wan-Bissaka was at fault for their equalising goal. Martinez and Varane were fine. And it's weird, me and Marcel said it earlier in the player ratings, which we've recorded already. I said, wow, we've conceded 3 goals, but our defenders played all right. David De Gea, distribution, a little bit shaky, but I think where we really lost it was midfield. Arsenal's midfield was superior to ours today because we had to bring in McTominay along with Eriksen. And there just wasn't enough in there. Obviously, they had Partey, they had Xhaka. Odegaard was just absolutely making things happen, real threat, keeping them fluid, keeping them ticking over. And that was a real issue for us. Bruno, I thought he didn't have his best game as well. Anthony, again, I just need him to be more direct. I need more output. I'm never going to write a player off so early into his Manchester United career. Forget the price tag. I'm just judging him on what I'm seeing. And yeah, he has a couple of little nutmegs, couple of little nice twists and turns, but essentially the output still isn't enough from him. And when I looked at Arsenal, they had output all over the pitch because they're a well-oiled team and they're doing their thing. So look, I'm disappointed to lose in the last minute. It would have been a fantastic result to get out with a draw, considering where we was. But at the end of the day, we did well. We did well to compete. We did well to give Arsenal a good game. We did well to push them right to the end. And we can hold our heads high. It happens. You know, they are further away. They're further ahead of us than we are. So for me, man of the match for me, I don't know. We lost the game. I'm not going to give a man of the match, but I thought Martinez played well. I thought Varane played well, and we did well. And you know what? We've always come back from the blips. Anytime we've lost the game, we've always managed to come back. And I think this is no different. I think the fact that we done well. I think the fact that we know what's coming. You've got Nottingham Forest, we've got Palace coming up. I think we'll be back to normal. And we can put this to bed and say, you know what, we came here, we competed, we done well, and we go on to other things and to get our targets, which is top 4, to be honest. Little pick up there, but you get my gist of what I'm saying. Manchester United played the best they could have, considering the things that we had going on, you know. So I'm pleased. I'm proud. I'm proud that they showed fight. You can lose to Arsenal on any day. They're a good team, but we're going in the right direction as well. And I was really pleased to see us show a little bit of character, and we didn't just come here and roll over with a bunch of mistakes. And actually, when the going got tough, you know, when Arsenal equalised, we didn't just capitulate before half-time. Then when they got the second, we didn't just capitulate, we got back into it. And when the going got really, really tough, we managed to, you know, last right until the last couple of minutes where I think fatigue just got the better of us. So it happens. Roll on Erik ten Hag, roll on the progress, and let's put this behind us and keep it moving. Smash the like on the video, subscribe to the channel if you are new. Cheers, peace.